What is up, guys? I am Jack. I'm here today at State College asking people their opinions on Elon Musk. I'm joined here today by...
Presley.
CJ.
Awesome. Now, what would you guys say your general perception of Elon Musk as a person is?
Very negative.
Not good. Not good.
And what would you say fueled those perceptions that you have on him?
Well, we never voted for Elon Musk to obtain any kind of position in government, so it feels really icky to have somebody that you never voted for basically cleaning house on government programs that help a lot of people, and not really being able to get your opinion as like a constituent that votes in the U.S. out there. And he's making cuts to a lot of really essential programs that help people, trying to cut things like Social Security, and making false claims about there being like millions of dollars in Social Security, but it's really just money that's given to people that are the most in need. And yeah, I just think he has no empathy, and it's really sad to see what's happening.
Yeah, I just second all of that. I think we just don't share the same morals. So the amount of power that he's wielding currently in the United States, I think he's using it in a really negative way.
Okay, so would you say that you guys are in favor of having him be held accountable as a regular constituent, seeing as how some of his decisions are that of an authority figure and can negatively affect people not in power?
Yeah, I strongly believe that like all human beings should be judged on like the same criteria. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like originally even from the U.S., which is not a problem, but if you're not going to be elected and not go through proper channels and be given that much power without any real checks and balances, then yeah, I think it's super unfair to people who are here and just trying to survive.
And besides like his work at a federal level, what do you feel about his work on the private level? What are your thoughts on Tesla, like Starlink, SpaceX, X? After acquiring Twitter, he renamed it X. Like, what are your opinions on either of these projects from him?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, his money was funded through apartheid in South Africa from his family's emerald mines. I mean, he used that money to buy out a lot of companies, successful and not. It's kind of that failing upwards mentality that he really is leveraging. And I think a lot of the problems is he's union busting at Tesla. He is using all this federal money that he's basically at this point self-allocating. And it's not really benefiting the people. He is just hoarding all the money from private infrastructure, and he is now using the federal government to further bolster that and deregulate all these industries. Like Tesla makes most of their money by selling their carbon credits, not necessarily by just selling their vehicles, which as a business plan is not really what I would go for. But yeah, I don't think that people who drive Teslas should be like negatively attacked in any way. I mean, it's a car, but I do think that his union busting practices, his unfair labor practices, the mass OSHA citations he's been getting in a lot of those factories, and now he's trying to cut OSHA. It's very clear that he's leveraging all of the federal government to serve himself and his private industries.
Yeah, I agree. I again just think that he is able to have all this money to buy up all of these companies and is using his sort of immoral stances and money to promote that. So yeah, I second everything Presley said.
Okay, say that he has a change of heart like tomorrow. What would he have to do to go back on what he's done previously that you take issue with and improve upon what he got wrong before?
I'll let you take this one first.
Yeah, that's a hard question. I feel like it would be really tough to do at this point. I think he's done a lot of harm. Yeah, and I think it would take a while to rebuild my trust in him. I would like to see like positive statements made that are like pro-humanist, pro-worker, all of those sorts of things. But I think it would, gosh, it would just be such a long process of regaining my trust personally. And I'm not even very affiliated with him. These are our views. Like, I don't work for Tesla or X, and nobody in my family does either. So this is just from what we can see on the news and stuff like that. So trying to inform ourselves. Yeah, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I don't think there's like one grand action that could shift my personal opinion that quickly. I think trust is built on the sum of your actions, and if, you know, his past however many years of actions have all been negative and detrimental to the world, it would take probably just as many years to build that back up. But starting to be, like CJ mentioned, like pro-humanist, stop fighting people who are just trying to survive and live, stopping the deregulation of various industries, and making cuts to programs that are, you know, for the people that are most in need, like all of those things. But yeah, I don't know that there's one single thing that could just shift my opinion that drastically, because it's been built up for so long over a sum of many actions.
Okay, and would you say that, let's look at this from a demographic perspective. Like, say, do you think people in the younger age demographic hold your stances, and people from an older demographic hold the opposite perspective? What are your thoughts on this?
Go ahead.
I mean, I think you're never too old to learn and change your perspective. So I don't necessarily think it's about age. I think there's been a trend for young people to have more empathy, and I like that that's sort of a push of our generation. But yeah, you're never too old to learn new things and become a better person.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it's not necessarily just an age thing, but a lot of people see like billionaires as cool and hip, but in reality, like, he started already in the 1% and has stayed there through investment and things like that. And yeah, I don't think it's an age thing. I think that anyone can have bad opinions and anyone can have good opinions, and it's a matter of willingness to learn and listen.
All right, yeah, well put. What is up? What is your name, sir?
Michael.
And what do you think about Elon Musk, Michael?
He's all right. He helped out the Trump campaign during the election season. He's kind of a nuisance now, though, not gonna lie.
What would you say makes him a nuisance specifically?
The fact that he brings his Teslas to the White House and has our own president promote them, that by itself is kind of annoying. Like, you don't need to bring your own company to the White House. The White House he literally is using the White House to promote his own business. That's a bit much. Even Trump, who owns a ton of businesses, has not promoted one of them while at the White House, in uniform, all of that, and he's Donald Trump. So, like, it's a bit much. It's a bit much.
What would you say he can do to be less of a nuisance?
Honestly, something that he can't do, which is be a little bit less autistic. That's part of why he's gotten to the place he has gotten to, is because he's motivated and he's a genius. He knows how to get stuff done. But, like, another reason people don't like him right now is it's clear he just has an off-putting personality, and there's nothing you can do to fix that.
Do you think he's going to hurt Republicans' chances of re-election in the midterms?
He's gonna hurt BoomerCon conservatives, yes. Modern right conservative figures, no, because they aren't connected to him, because they don't like Elon Musk. But all of the BoomerCons who try to associate themselves with him, such as like the Marjorie Taylor Greene types, yeah, those people, if they're running just solely on I got an Elon Musk endorsement, that's not going to be enough.
Do you think that there's like a demographic difference in regards to how people perceive Elon Musk? Do you think older generations respect him more and that younger generations don't like him more? What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's actually interesting. I think that the older generation definitely hates him more, absolutely hates him more. However, I think the younger generation, well, hates him more as a whole. The younger generation definitely hates him more as a, like, polarization-wise. So, like, there's a lot more people who like him in the younger generation, but there's also a lot more people who hate him by an even greater extent. while older people just don't like him.
And how much would you say is due to media perception? Do you think if he went out and endorsed a Democrat, his media perception would change the next day? What are your thoughts on this?
No. No. It doesn't matter for the Democrats. He already committed the cardinal sin, which is endorse Donald Trump and help him win. Yeah, see, there we go. But no, there's nothing he can do on that front to gain the respect back from the Democrats. For conservatives, it's just called take a step out of people's business for a little while. Get out of the spotlight. It's not your spotlight.
Well, his faults aside, do you think he has been a strength for the conservative movement by and large? Do you think, for instance, him acquiring Twitter and turning it into X has been a net benefit for them?
Well, yes, of course. He's our version of George Soros. It's not like I want to throw that away. He just needs to calm down a little bit. Like, the fact that Donald Trump is giving his son a plane ride, a personal plane ride, is a little bit ridiculous, even for me. Like, there's a certain extent to where it becomes comedical or comical. And we've reached that point where it's become comical. Like you are literally giving Elon Musk's son a ride on Air Force One. Well, not Air Force One. What? It was the helicopter, whatever the helicopter's name is. So yeah.
If you were to meet Elon Musk in person and offer him any advice, what would it be?
Have Trump's team come up with a second version of Dark MAGA. I want to see Dark MAGA Part 2. I want to see a new hat, a second edition. And then just hire a media, like a politics media relations coordinator. Somebody who can do the speaking for you, like most congressmen have. Yeah, that's it.
What's up, guys? I'm Jack, and I'm joined today by...
My name's Zach.
All right, what's up, Zach? So Elon Musk seems like a constant person in the news right now. What are your general thoughts on him?
I don't know a whole lot. I know he's big in Tesla and he's doing some stuff with Starlink, I think is the name of his satellite. Other than that, I don't know a whole lot about him just in general. But
Okay, and would you say that your perception of him has been negatively affected by his recent swing into politics, like joining the Trump administration, being a vocal supporter of President Trump?
I would say, yeah, that's negatively affected him.
Okay. And what do you think specifically makes it more negative?
I think a lot of people, when they hear anybody associated with Trump, whether or not they like them before or after, automatically associate them with negative for whatever that may be. I know personally that, based off my opinions, I mean, I wasn't really a fan of either option in this election. So for me, I don't really chalk him up as a bad guy just because he hops on the administration. I honestly like the idea of non-career politicians getting into some positions in government. But overall, I don't think just because he's part of an administration, that means you can write him off as a bad person or he stands for bad things, because I don't think guilty by association when it comes to that is applicable.
Yeah. So controversies aside, you think he can still do a lot of good with his company and what he's doing with his current projects?
I think he has the ability to. Whether or not he does good is up to him.
Okay. How realistic do you think his plans for colonizing Mars are?
I don't know much about that. For me and what my brain can wrap around, I don't think that's realistic in our lifetime. But I mean, who knows? A couple hundred years down the road, why not?
Okay, and would you say that as a public figure, do you think he should continue to do what he's doing, or get someone to like write speeches for him, or try to be more of an ideas guy rather than a personality guy?
I think that's up to him. If he wants to keep doing what he's doing, keep doing that. If he wants to hire somebody to do it for him, that's up to him. But at the end of the day, if that's what he wants to do, let him do it.
I'm joined here today by
Amanda.
All right, Amanda. So what would you say your general opinions on Elon Musk are?
I strongly dislike him.
Any strong reasons for this dislike?
He's built weird, he's creating an oligarchy, and he's just a businessman who oversees a bunch of rocket scientists. He's not really a rocket scientist. He's got his little toesy-woesies stuck in the American government when he's not from America, which is kind of dumb. And he also has like a transgender daughter he like got rid out of his life because he hates transgender people. He's just gross in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So do you foresee him making any improvements whatsoever, or do you think on the current track things are going to get much worse under him?
Probably much worse. I'm not a politician or an economist, but I'm good at observing, and looks like it's all downhill from here.
What do you think about his other ventures, such as SpaceX, Starlink, Tesla, like X? When he acquired Twitter, he changed it to X. What are your thoughts on those platforms or ventures?
I mean, I think like creating and innovating is always good, and science. I'm a scientist. Science is great, but like he's doing it for money, and doing science for money is not why most people do science. It's not right. Twitter is dumb. X is dumb. I hate the name. I still call it Twitter. And I think Tesla is at its like worst stocks right now, like ever. Like it's like Guinness Book of World Records for like the most a stock has lost its value. So good job there. But
Okay. He's called a lot of names by his critics. Some calls him a Nazi. Some say that he benefited heavily from apartheid in South Africa. Do you have any strong stances on either of those accusations towards him?
the Nazi part makes sense based on that like salute. I think it's funny. I call him Elon Pelon. That's my nickname for him. I don't know anything about the South Africa part, but I'd assume it's probably correct.
Okay, and what would you say? How would you say his presence at the federal level affects Republicans or the Trump administration? Do you think it will affect their voter turnout to re-elect Republicans in the midterms and strongly help the Democrats? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the Democrats don't like him, but he made electric cars and Republicans don't like electric cars, so it's kind of just like, what is actually going on there? I don't understand. Like, do Democrats not like him? Do Republicans not like him because he made electric cars? He's doing all this space stuff. I think it will play a part, especially people who like to bootlick rich people, which is Republicans. Yeah, I think it'll definitely change Republicans at least.
So even though Tesla stocks are down, Elon is still said to be an innovator in electric vehicles by and large. So do you see a potential rebound, if not by him, but in electric vehicles in general in the future? I
mean, I hope so. I'm all for clean energy, but the heavy metal mining and the presence of heavy metals always makes that hard. I really hope that we can all move from fossil fuels to electric, even if it's just vehicles. I think that would be great, but I think just Elon, where he is screwing up the electric car. Like, I don't know.
Okay, and if you were to meet Elon in person and give him any sort of advice, what would it be?
Take care of your kids, and I don't know. You don't belong here. You don't belong here. I don't know. I just wish everyone would be nicer to each other and care about everybody else. But he doesn't care about a lot of people, and he's just doing it for the money.
Caleb Evans, I'm a senior at Penn State.
Awesome. And Caleb, what would you say your general opinions on Elon Musk are?
I think Elon Musk, 1 through 10, I'll give him like a 5.5. I think the Republicans, obviously, they say he didn't do the salute. He obviously did the salute. Don't make an excuse for him. But my opinion on Elon Musk is that I feel like to eliminate the poverty problem in America, I didn't know. I thought Elon Musk only had 90 billion as his net worth, but I figured out he almost had $500 billion. So I feel like maybe if he donated like 50 billion, they distributed somewhere places, I think that would help with America's poverty problem. But other than that, like I'm not that smart. I'm not into politics. It doesn't get my balls hard. So I'm into like LeBron dunking and Jordan's having his tongue out. So with politics, I don't know that much. But Elon Musk, besides the whole salute thing, that's pretty bad. I think he's an all right guy. Tesla, I know Tesla, I think is $1 trillion company. So he's a smart guy. It's just maybe he's got to stay away from Kanye West's opinion. I would say that. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on Elon Musk.
Okay, so you would say that essentially he should move away from the federal level and just get back to what he's doing with companies like SpaceX, like Tesla, X, formerly Twitter, and like Starlink, stuff like that?
I would say so. I don't know that much, but I think when it comes to politics, I think you should really only truly speak about politics if you're informed. Like, I'll admit, I wouldn't say I'm anti-Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk has his facts, though. Even though I would say I'm left-leaning, Charlie Kirk, he knows a lot about a lot, especially when these guys on Instagram are, I forget what his name is. There's just one guy that's constantly talking about Christianity while they're just there for politics. But Charlie Kirk, I'll admit, like, I'm not into that space, but he knows his facts. I feel like Elon Musk, he's a good, I would say like a business guy creator, but when it comes to politics, I don't think that's his #1 area.
Okay. Getting back to the salute, would you say that he's genuinely a Nazi or he's just like edgy in a way?
I would say he's edgy. He hasn't said the K word yet. He probably will. That's what happens when you keep listening to Kanye. I think Kanye's a brilliant guy. I think when it comes to certain stuff, Kanye should back away from it. I don't believe Hitler's a good guy. He's a horrible guy. But, most people are shifting towards the opinion that he was a hero, right? Whatever. But, yeah, I think he's edgy. I don't think he's a full-blown, I want to kill these people. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want you, I love you guys. I don't want your guys to get what's it called. But, yeah, I think he's edgy. I don't think he's a full-blown Nazi.
Okay, and you kind of touched on this before, but if you were to meet with Elon in person and give him any sort of advice, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a great question. What would I tell Elon? Oh, I would tell probably think for yourself. There's a lot of people, especially people around our age, that they just ride the hate train. A lot of people don't have authentic opinions and they just go off of what other people say. I feel like I have my own authentic opinions about stuff, and I feel like most people, they ride the hate train. So we need more independent, authentic thinkers. That's what I'd probably tell Elon. Even though Elon, he's a entrepreneur, almost a trillionaire. He probably knows his stuff. But I think with other stuff, we see something on social media and we just ride with that instead of doing our own authentic things. Like if all of us were in solitary confinement for 48 hours, I think our opinions would change. So
that's 1 neutral. 4 good, 3 bad, 1 neutral. 1 on the phone. Sir, any thoughts on Elon Musk? Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News.
Yeah, tell that.
Get in here on the camera.
Tell that man, keep getting money, man.
Hey, hell yeah, brother. That's 4 good, 4 bad. 4.5 bad, my apologies. 1 on the phone, 1 neutral. Sir, any thoughts on Elon Musk? Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Good or bad? That's 2 neutral. 4.5 good, no, 4.5 bad, 4 good, 2 neutral, 1 on the phone. Any thoughts on Elon Musk? Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk? Good or bad? I would call her neutral. She seemed kind of bad. I might have to bump the bad up to 5 now. She did have purple hair too. Pink. Asterisk. Pink. Ladies, I'm Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk?
No,
Can be good
no
or bad?
comment. No
No
comment.
That's 6 neutral, 4.5 bad, 4 good, 1 man on the phone. Ladies, I'm Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk?
Good or bad? I don't know.
They might be neutral, they might not be. I'm not sure they know much, to be honest. Hey, I'm Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk? Good or bad?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, any thoughts?
Bad.
8.5 bad, 4 good, 1 neutral, 1 on the phone. 2 neutral, 1 on the phone. Sweet. I don't know what I did that up there too. I don't know. Still good thoughts? Still good thoughts. Hasn't changed his mind. Never will. Never will. So we're at 8 bad, 4 good, 2 neutral, 1 on the phone. Ladies, Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk?
I don't know.
We'll call it 5 neutral. 8 bad, 4 good, 5 neutral, 1 on the phone. Ladies, Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk? Good or bad?
No comment.
9 neutral, 8 bad, 4 good, 1 on the phone. Any thoughts on Elon Musk?
I love him.
9 neutral, 8 bad, 6 good, 1 man on the phone. Any thoughts on Elon Musk? Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News.
I think he's a robot.
1 robot. One person thinks he's a robot. A robot could be cool. Robot. Good robot or bad robot? Good robot, he says. Ladies, Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk? Good or bad? They don't know much at all. 9 bad, 7 good. I think it was also 9 neutral, and 1 person was on a phone. You guys got anything you want to say about Elon Musk? You forgot 1 robot. Oh, yeah, and 1 robot. Get in here. What is your name?
Aiden.
Aiden? Aiden, what are your thoughts on Elon Musk?
Is this going to be censored at all? Okay.
This is free speech, free, safe space. Say whatever the hell you want, however you want, whatever. It's either free speech or safe space, depending on what side you're on.
Okay. I think he's a massive pussy.
Okay, I hear you. Why do you think that?
Because he's not only an unelected oligarch, which of course we don't like, but he is just a billionaire with a lot of money who buys companies and then takes all the credit for it.
So, I've heard this argument a couple times today, actually, where people say, specifically Tesla, he didn't invent Tesla, he bought Tesla and then marketed it or whatever he did. Are you pro or anti-electric vehicle?
Pro.
Pro EV. Are you pro Tesla or anti-Tesla?
Anti-Tesla just because it's Elon.
Just because it's Elon. Are you pro or anti the vandalization of Teslas?
Pro.
Pro. You're pro vandalizing Teslas, and why is that?
If your company is run by a Nazi, it can't go unpunished, right?
I hear you. Would you not say there's some irony in spray painting a swastika on some poor Jewish guy's Tesla, though?
Yes, I would have to agree. I don't think people, because listen, if you think he's Nazi, whether you not think he's a Nazi, at the end of the day, you're the one spray painting the swastika, so you should probably find, just like do dicks or something.
Yeah, I hear you there. The one guy, he said earlier when he was here, he said the problem with vandalizing Teslas is that the likelihood of them being a liberal was more than a conservative by driving electric vehicles. So it's almost kind of like self-inflicted wounds, would you say?
I would have to agree. There's quite a few Teslas that, people bought them a few years ago and they had no idea. You can't really blame them for that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Did you see anything to do with the story about him sending a SpaceX rocket up to save the astronauts from the Space Center?
Yes, I did see that.
You did see that. My question following that is, if you can use a billionaire and his billions of dollars for good, is it worth using, or should we not have billionaires at all?
I don't think we should have billionaires at all, because if we taxed them enough, we wouldn't have had to send a billionaire's rocket up there, and we could have just had NASA get them.
Fascinating take. Any other things you want to say about Elon Musk?
Not that I haven't already said, I guess.
Alrighty. Hey, thank you very much. And what was your name again?
Aiden.
Thank you very much, Aiden. Take care.
Have a great day, man.
Hey, you too. Ladies, Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk, good or bad? They ran away. They stay away from politics. So what? We're at 10 bad, 9 neutral, 7 good, 1 man on the phone, 1 man thinks he's a good robot. Gentlemen, Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk, good or bad?
He's a horrible human being. Should be deported.
Should be deported. So we'll call it 10 bad, 8 good, 7, whatever it was. You know the count, Jack. He's writing it down. Don't worry. Gentlemen, Doug Dimmadome with the Dimmadome Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk, good or bad?
That's a good dude. Good dude. Yeah, good cars. Just good man. I like what he's doing with Doge and everything.
So you're pro government waste, pro EV. Are you pro space exploration?
Yeah, I think space. I mean, it has its time, but I mean, what he did with the space station, I think is pretty cool. Bringing the astronauts back.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on these recent uptick in vandalizations of Teslas and dealerships?
Well, I feel like vandalizing is never a good thing, but I mean, people do what they want, but I mean, they should be vigilant of it. I should say.
Does Elon's involvement in the Trump administration make you more or less likely to vote for the next Republican?
I mean, I don't think it really affects my viewpoints on the government at all. I feel like he just does what he does and doesn't affect my, political affiliation.
Yeah. I hear you. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
Brady.
Brady? Thank you very much, Brady. Hey, take care. Yep. 11 good, 25 bad, 16 neutral, 1 robot, 1 man on the phone. You pro or anti-Elon?
What?
What are your thoughts on Elon Musk?
I don't like him.
You don't like him? How old are you?
14.
14? I don't know that we can put a 14-year-old camera. Something about it seems wrong. I'm Doug Dimino with the Dimino Daily News. That's what this is. Any thoughts on Elon Musk?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I'll give her credit. That's the second no, thank you. I could just tell by the way she looked at me that it was an anti-Elon Musk. We're at 26 bad. I could just tell by the way she looked at me. Gentlemen, Doug Dimino with the Dimino Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk, good or bad? Shoulder shrug. Put him in the neutral. Put him in the neutral. 16 neutrals. Any thoughts on Elon Musk, good or bad? Another no comment. We had to make a new category for neutrals and no comments. They seem a little different. I have a feeling the no comments have a comment. They're just scared to make it. Sir, any thoughts on Elon Musk?
Not really, no.
Not really. See, that's another one of those no comments where I think he really leans towards the bad side. Seemed like a professor. Probably safe to say he's a little liberal. Oh, you're good. I'm Doug Dimino with the Dimino Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk, good or bad?
I have no thoughts.
No thoughts. We'll put that in the neutral category. 75 neutrals, 22 bad, 110 good. One man thinks he's a robot. One man was on his phone. Any thoughts on Elon Musk, good or bad? $27 no comments. Any thoughts on Elon Musk? No comment. Please, Doug Dimino with the Dimino Daily News. Any thoughts on Elon Musk, good or bad?
Say it again.
Any thoughts on Elon Musk, good or bad?
I don't really know much about him, but from what I do know, I don't think I'm a big fan.
You don't think you're a big fan. What about it would you say you're not a big fan of? Is it the government cutting and spending, or is it the alleged Nazi accusations?
The cutting and spending, I think that he has too much power for pretty much just being a billionaire, the richest man in the world, and having airspace control. There you go. That he's trying to take over airspace control, and that I think someone with that much power is dangerous to our democracy.
I hear you. Would you say you're pro or anti-electric vehicle?
I also don't really know much about it, but I think I'm pro. I think pro. Yeah.
Would you say, follow up to that is, are you pro or anti-Tesla?
I think I might be pro Tesla. I don't know. Yeah, okay. I think Teslas are it's a good thing. I think like it cuts fossil fuel usage, whatever. I think that might be good. I just think it's the guy that I'm not a big fan of.
You might be the true center of the political compass. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. Yes. Would you say you're pro or anti the vandalization of Teslas? Have you seen that recently?
Anti. I mean, I think that's like just dumb. I don't think that's doing anything. Yeah. It's not making a statement in any way. I think you're just like blowing up cars for no reason.
Yeah, I mentioned this earlier. I feel bad for the poor Jewish guy that got a swastika painted on his Tesla. And it's kind of ironic in a way, but yeah, no, I do get it. And also I said earlier that the likelihood of that person being a liberal that bought the electric vehicle is also very high, so they're kind of just fighting their own people on that one. Would you say you're pro or anti-space exploration?
Space exploration or X?
Both.
Okay. I really wish I knew more about this. I should. Exploration, pro. Why not? No like harm in that. SpaceX, also pro. I don't like. I feel like they're just going up to space. Actually, I might take that back. I think we might want to like leave that to NASA.
Okay.
I think private companies like in space kind of, it's a little freaky.
Sort of reminiscent of, I don't know how much you know about history, but the East India Company was a British private company that ended up owning a majority of the world's trade. Elon Musk kind of seems like the modern day equivalent to the East India Company. Yeah. So you say he has too much power, but you still appreciate the things he's doing for the environment. Is that how you would sum it up?
Yeah, sure. I think also he might have changed throughout, like the getting more and more power. It could have gotten to his head or whatever, that he might have been like gone into it with good intentions, and then everything could have changed. Yeah.
I like to think of myself as a strong man, but if I was given whatever $900 billion or whatever he has, I probably would go a little crazy too. So I get it. But no, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time. What was your name again?
Brooke.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
Take care. Have a good day.
You too.
you want to get interviewed? Did you change your mind?
I don't like my face being on the internet.
That's fair. It's smart. I wish I had the same luxury these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's any consolation, cameras are off. You can just tell us your opinion.
I'm good.
All right.
He's a stoic man.
Oh my God, you're alive. I thought you died.